Hey everybody, welcome. Looks like I got a couple people in here already. Sweet. Um, my name's Brian Hill, jack of all trades, master of none. I think I'm going to sit here and talk to you guys on this happy May the 4th and this continuation of live streams we've got going on here with the Gray Order. I think I'm going to talk a little bit about the books. I've got most of them on Audible and stuff like that, and maybe I'll even talk a little bit about Jedi Fallen Order. The new updates on it are fantastic. You can start off as with a red lightsaber. It's amazing. But anyways, I've digressed. Other things that came out, I did catch the documentary for the Mandalorian season 1 for the directors. Wow, they really put it on for Dave Filoni. Very glad to see that he's a part of the future of Star Wars going forward, and seeing Jon Favreau really taking control is it's definitely something to behold. But anyways, say hello to some of the folks that are here. How's it going? Stories by Irish, Sir Nerd a lot. How you guys doing? Alrighty. But anyways, let's kick this shindig off right. I figured I would do it a little bit in chronological order. So it because there's just so many to do, like a top 10. Maybe at the end I'll share some of my top 10 time permitting. So anyways, as far as I know, and that have been out so far, um, Dooku Jedi Lost is going to be the first one as far as the timeline is concerned, because it takes place throughout Dooku's life. Asajj Ventress basically is trying to. I don't want to. I don't want to give too many spoilers, but basically, Asajj Ventress is watching letters that go back and forth between him and his sister throughout his course of being a Jedi and learning all that kind of stuff. And it examines the relationship between him and Sifo Dyas, and kind of how kind of learns how to tap into the dark side a little bit. Hey, Second Street Marvel, how's it going? What's up, Merle? That was a very entertaining stream you had on earlier today. Like I said, here, let me do some a little bit of work here really quick. Show the folks what else, the rest of the festivities today. Excuse me. A little bit of raspy this afternoon. Let's see here. It'll take a little bit. Computer's kind of old, but anyways, back to Dooku Jedi Lost. It's a like I said before, it's actually an audio play. It has several different people doing the voices for the different characters on Audible. It's a real treat. Hey, Darth Lunga, how's it going? Star Wars Santa, what's going on, fellas? Glad you can join me. Remember to leave a like, and I believe Roguecast is on after me, and I'll drop a link in the chat afterwards. Let me do some more. Application window. There we go. Boom. And that's going to be a list of everyone else that's been going on. It's been going on since this morning. I happened to catch Fanjacture first thing. I'm on the West Coast, so it's a little bit earlier. Goldman had a good show. Second Street was was on point. Um, Star Wars Only was had another good one, and a lot of news broke during that show, so that one was really good. The Great Council with Darth Daddy Lunga, always a favorite. Stream Junkies just ended; they were doing a really good show on some of the different fan edits for Star Wars, and it really fits for the May the 4th the whole angle. So, anyways, we're having a good time. And after me, we've got Roadcast, Star Wars Santa, an opening at 5 p.m. Central. The Rebel Scum podcast is going to be on, followed by Mad Max the Mandalorian. And then 8 o'clock, I believe, is also to be determined, and finish it up with Nerd Reactor. So we'll be bringing you all sorts of news and other aspects of Star Wars today, and I'm just happy that I could be a part of it, and I'm also happy that everyone can join in the fun. But anyways. But yeah, so anyways, that was Dooku Jedi Lost. Check it out. It is on Audible. It's one of those audio plays. Like I said, it's really really good. That's pretty much all I can say about it. I would recommend getting it. Even if you sign up for a free one, it wouldn't be a bad one to toss at a free one. It's right up there with some of my favorites. The next one, as far as what I've listened to, is Catalyst. It's the Rogue One story. Basically, it's a prelude to everything that was going on, leading up to Rogue One. The Ursos, before Jin was born and all that kind of stuff. It talked about Krennic and how they started to develop the program for the Death Star, which is really really cool. It added a lot into it. So I mean, as far as that book was gone, it was really good. I definitely liked the reading. The person that was reading it, they did a really good job of doing the different characters and stuff like that. Like I said, I'm not much of a book reader per se. I do have a little bit of issues with eyes going all wonky, but anyways, I definitely like the Audible. It's a good way to go. And then after that, we have Dark Disciple, but I never actually read that one, so I'm gonna skim past it because I haven't. Which leads us to the movies. I'll talk about Phantom Menace first. Star Wars: The Phantom Menace. Um, uh, it doesn't hold up to repeat viewings on as far as I'm concerned, but and that's just because it was the first ever DVD I ever had, and I watched the living daylights out of it. It's one of those few films that I can say that the special features documentary was better than the movie itself. Uh, Sorry. And then as far as the continuity within the books is concerned, the next one is Attack of the Clones, or the movie Attack of the Clones. So anyways, that one came out in 2002. I had been out of high school for about a year when that movie came out. So, and I was also in community college doing a little bit of theater and stuff like that. And I just remember we made fun of it back then, and it didn't really. I don't know. Best thing I'd say about it is it was the first movie I ever saw in IMAX. So I mean, no complaints there. But anyways, back onto the books. The next one is going to be the Ahsoka novel. It at the time, at least currently, it's very what's the word I'm looking for? It's really topical, especially since the last couple episodes of the Clone Wars, which I did watch this morning. Oh my goodness. Don't want to talk too much about it in case you haven't seen it already, but if you're probably watching this, chances are you probably have seen it already. So just to say, I really loved it. The whole Ahsoka, even the part with the Raffa twins, it didn't bother me too much. I, hey, I like it. it's Star Wars. Give me some more. But no, basically that part of it led into the Ahsoka novel, which basically follows her after her and Rex have to split up after Order 66 and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, I was chilling to watch Vader walk away, man. Anyways, sidetracked again. I do that quite a bit. So if I do tend to ramble, I'll try to keep myself more on track than normal. So the Ahsoka novel, it was actually read by Ashley Eckstein, which is really cool because she does the voice of the characters on the shows as well. It kind of bridges the gap between Clone Wars and Rebels, where she basically becomes Fulcrum by the end of it. Yeah, Certain Luck. It was epic. 100%, my friend. 100%. But yeah, so more to it, it talks about how she gets both of her lightsabers back again, and how she gets them back is pretty damn cool. Uh, she gets her crystal back from one of the Inquisitors and just bust his shit with the Force. It's pretty amazing. So, anyways, that's the Ahsoka book. I would also recommend checking it out. It's definitely one of those books that was really, really good. Which leads us to the movie Revenge of the Sith. As far as the prequel movies are concerned, that's my favorite. 110%. I'm pretty sure anyone can agree with me. There's not much, more to say. Yeah, the only thing that did bother me, and you can tell just because of the time that's passed, is all the environments that are CG, and it's like 90% of the movie. Kind of irks you a little bit, but I love the whole story entirely. It was really sad to see what happened to Anakin. That burning scene is kind of brutal. Uh, I just recently watched it because of all the Clone Wars episodes and stuff like that, just to get myself back into that frame of mind again. And out of all the prequels, it's the only one I can actually sit down and give it a good once over, every so often. So it goes to the next one, which is Tarkin. Um, I really liked it. I'm going to say that a lot because there's not a lot of these books that I really didn't enjoy so much. As a matter of fact, I liked all of them. Um, but I'll give you more of an explanation as to why I like them and stuff like that uh, further on. As far as Tarkin's concerned, it starts off at his youth and stuff like that. And it's also written by James Luceno, who also wrote the, one of the best EU books, Darth Plagueis, which I think Dooku kind of retconned some of it, but it doesn't matter. But anyways, uh, it starts off on his home planet of Iriadu, and it actually mentions that Darth Plagueis was Sidious's master in it, which is pretty decent too. You could tell that the guy that wrote the book for the other one wrote the other one, kind of like Thrawn. Um, but anyways, Grand Moff Tarkin. It talks about there's people who steal his ship, and he and Vader have to go get his ship back, and basically, they find out some stuff about the rebellion. So yes, but anyways, that was Tarkin. It's been a little bit since I've actually given that one a listen. It's just one of those ones that I haven't downloaded in a while, which leads right into the next book as far as the timeline's concerned, which is Lords of the Sith. Um, I really, really liked this book. Um, it was, once again, like I said, I'm going to like them all, but Lords of the Sith was really good because in the very beginning, it kind of gave you memories of Ahsoka and Padme and stuff like that. Just to know that when Vader was still Vader, he still had it on his mind, and that was definitely something that drove him as far as you know being being there. Hey, looks like we got somebody else. How's it going, 2Mid2? What's up, man? Howdy do. But also, I said in the Discord, if anybody does want to join me, they're more than welcome to. I'm just basically rapping about books and talking about the movies that are in between. Um, but anyways, let me get back on track. Lords of the Sith. It basically takes place with Cham Syndulla, which is Hera Syndulla's dad, Hera from Rebels. Anyways, um, really, really good uh, book as far as yeah, just everything. Like Two Men Two said, the pain of his memories. Yeah, it really, really showed forth in the beginning of that book. Just because that's, I mean, that's where he taps into the dark side, is that pain, from the loss, and you really have to respect that, as far as just being a person. Um, he's tortured by his past, and it feeds and fuels his anger, which gives him more strength in the dark side. And you really get to see Palpatine throw down in this book as well. The Emperor does some really crazy stuff to these. I think they're called Virmax or something like that. They're just these huge insects that are just carnivorous that wipe out, whole legions of stormtroopers when they throw down with them. Um, and Sidious and Darth Vader are basically trying. They get shot down, and they're trying to get back to the city. But anyways, that was once again, it was a really good book. The other half of the story is told through the eyes of Cham Syndulla, once again as Hera's dad, and he's basically one of the founding members of the rebellion. He starts the Free Ryloth movement, which is really, really the foundation that becomes the Rebel Alliance. Anyways, let's go on to the next one. I never read Rebel Rising, but I did get New Dawn. That's basically how Hera met Kanan. It was really good. Kanan was basically cut himself off from the Force because he was a Padawan that had lost his master Depa Billaba during Order 66, but she sacrificed herself so that Kanan could move on and you know, go on to be the master for Ezra in Rebels. And it talks about Hera when she was basically doing, mostly her dad's bidding and stuff like that. Um, the bad guy in that one, Count Vremek, he's a cyborg, and it kind of you get a almost a Vader-y vibe, but not quite because he's not that evil. I'll move through because there's actually quite a bit. Let's see here. Stars will run the road. As a girl, never read any of those. Sorry, I give a raw take. All right. So, anyways, the next one would be Leia, Princess of Alderaan. Um, I really, really like Claudia Gray's writing. She told the story from Princess Leia's point of view when she was a teenager going to the Imperial Academy, where she also runs into a couple other people, and you can also tie. I could throw the book Lost Stars in there as well. Lost Stars, it follows the original trilogy through the eyes of two characters, and damn it, their names are escaping me right now, but that's all right. We're going to move on. Uh, they basically one joins, or they both join the Empire, and the young man he becomes disillusioned, and the next thing you know, he's jumping ship to the rebellion, and through Wedge Antilles. So that one's pretty cool. It basically, they split up after Hoth. During the Battle of Hoth, he is uh, after they see what the Death Star can do. Thane, Thane Kyrell. Thane Kyrell leaves and joins the rebellion right before the Battle of Hoth, and then it basically tells the continuation all the way up to the Battle of Jakku, where Sayana Ree sacrifices her ship because she's the captain of one of the Star Destroyers onto Jakku, and it's one of the Star Destroyers that is on display in The Force Awakens. So it is involved in the timeline, but they're run alongside. Leia, Princess of Alderaan, was really good because she got to go to Naboo, and the Imperial governor for Naboo was Captain Panaka. and Captain Panaka from Her Majesty's Security on the first movie, episode 1. He was definitely nothing better to say. He was basically just your standard everyday Imperial, but he did actually recognize um, Padme in Leia, and she also felt a chill from the Force when she went to the hangar where Darth Maul appeared. She felt darkness and stuff like that. So it kind of ties into Return of the Jedi when she said, images, feelings, kind of thing, to where and that's one thing I definitely like about these books is they tie in a lot of the general movies as far as you know adding to the continuity is always great. So anyways, let's go on to the next. I believe it's going to be the novel is or it's going to be Thrawn. um, I'll just talk about all three of them. The new Thrawn trilogy, also written by Timothy Zahn. This one's a little bit different, and it kind of runs congruent with Star Wars Rebels, especially the second two. Um, the second one, I believe, they uh, they they find out about the Skywalkers, which are Chiss children that are Force sensitive, and there was a species that was capturing the Chiss children and running experiments and stuff on them, and like that at one of the spires. I believe it was at Baku, which is where the Black Spire Disneyland is, the Galaxies of Adventure. But anyways, that was Thrawn Alliances, I believe, because that one kind of took place in the Clone Wars, where he worked with Anakin Skywalker and Padme, and then he also worked with Darth Vader, which was really cool because he found out that he put two and two together about Darth Vader and Anakin Skywalker, which he was one of the few to actually do. Grand Moff Tarkin was another one. I might have forgot to mention that. Hey, Bashti, what's happening? You guys had a great show. I was happy to listen. I was playing Jedi Fallen Order while you guys were streaming, and I'll say it again. The new updates are really cool. You can start out with a red lightsaber and the inquisitorial gear. It's pretty sweet. But anyways, right now I'm talking about the Thrawn trilogy, which kind of leads into the Rogue One novelization. As far as Rogue One, that was a great movie. Can't say too much bad about it. Um, nothing at all. I really liked Rogue One. The novelization was good. It expanded a little bit further. Some of the stuff that might have been cut out or missed from the original cut of the film. That's kind of what I like about some of the new novelizations, which started with The Force Awakens and then kind of went all the way up to now with Rise of Skywalker. But anyways, and that they'll take us into episode 4. As far as my thoughts on The New Hope, yeah, uh, I wasn't. When I first saw it, I loved it a lot. After repeat viewings, I like the special edition when they added all the stuff into it. I was in like junior high when they put out the special edition, so it was something kind of cool to see, um, especially for somebody that was really into Star Trek at the time. But Star Wars was my first love. I still had the original VHS with the gray top Fox logo for Empire Strikes Back. Excuse me. All right. So, but yeah, I really like The New Hope. Um, all in all, it's what started everything. It's why we're talking right now. May 4th, 1977. But anyways, going on. I believe was it Twilight Company next? Yeah. Yes. The Battlefront book, I think, is next because it takes place during the Yeah, Battlefront Twilight Company. Battlefront Twilight Company takes place during the Battle of Hoth and the Battle of Jeddah. It's pretty interesting. I it's one of those ones that I got it, and I quickly went through it because I never really got the game. Well, I did get the game, but it was after the fact. And to be honest, Battlefront 2 was way better. The other book that came out around the same time was Battlefront 2, uh, Inferno Squad, which is really cool because it's the prelude to the video game, and it's also read by Janina Gavankar, because she plays she does the actual character in that story. But anyways, moving on. Like I said, it wasn't that great. Well, it looks like I'm going to be talking about a couple movies for a minute. So, anyways, that leads us to Empire Strikes Back, Star Wars Episode 5. Ah, man. Well, I'm not going to say it's my favorite out of all of them. I think it's kind of a toss up between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi for me. It's one of the original movies that I ever had as a kid. So, needless to say, I watched the hell out of it. Um, and when the special editions came out, it was really cool. I was really waiting for the for the extra material and stuff like that. And I wish I didn't. I wish I had it up until recently when I bought the Blu-rays. But anyways, e- everybody knows what happens in that. I'm not going to talk about what happens in the movie. Mostly just my thoughts and feelings on it. Like I said, I liked Return of the Jedi almost just a little bit more. I think it's just because a lot of things. I was born the year it came out. Um, it's it's one of the ones that I really like the most, and I remember playing the most as a kid. I even had a Return of the Jedi T-shirt. Uh, the whole thing with the Emperor and all that kind of stuff. Loved it 100%. It just couldn't get any better as far for me as far as the original movies go. Like I said, I did like Empire Strikes Back. Don't get me wrong, but I'm one of those people that like Return of the Jedi just a little bit more. But anyways, back to the books because that's mainly what we're here for. The next one is the Aftermath trilogy. That was written by Chuck Wendig, and those are some of the first books to come out after during the whole Disney Star Wars thing. So the first one was really anticipated, which was Aftermath. Uh, it jumped around a lot. It had a lot of asides and stuff like that, or different portions of the story. But I did like it for the sense that it did tell some of the story after Return of the Jedi, because I think there's a lot of us that, like me, that want to see that story, or at least what happens after after Return of the Jedi, in between those two movies. I mean, there's a couple books that go in them, and I'll talk about them when I get there. Uh, that that kind of take up some of the slack, and they are some of my favorite books and the ones that came out. But as far as the first one, it was really cool. You got to meet a rebel crew, which is the Wexleys, Nora Wexley, and her son Snap, or Temin, or Snap Wexley. Snap Wexley, if you'll know, sadly got shot down in the Battle of the Galaxy. God rest. But anyways, Snap Wexley, he was a really good character. He actually made took an old B1 battle droid and cranked it up to 11. I even think he had some of General Grievous's programming inside of him, which definitely made him a force to be reckoned with, especially going up against some stormtroopers. But anyways, the planet they were on, I believe Nora Wexley was in the rebellion, and left her son to go fight the war. She left her son with her aunts and stuff. So it's kind of a reunion for them where they discuss, the things that basically got them to where they are and it improved their relationship, and they actually became quite a team. They got joined by some other people. One was an Imperial Security Bureau agent. Another one was a Zabrak bounty hunter. She was pretty badass, man. Oof. Yeah, especially in some of the later books. She was really really good. Um, that and then Wedge Antilles was part of their crew. But anyways, that was the first one, was basically them getting their crew together. The second one was they teamed up with Han Solo and Chewie to go and to go to Kashyyyk and liberate the Wookiees from the Imperial Remnant. It was really good. There was a lot of politics involved, where the Mon Mothma and the Senate, the New Republic Senate, didn't want to send anything back to didn't want to send anything, any help as far as that goes. And it kind of harkens back to the old days of the Republic. And you get to see Leia, trying to go in, and she's also pregnant with Ben Solo. So like I said, that's where the series starts to get a little bit better. They still have some of the asides and the preludes and stuff like that, but those are kind of nice because it kind of, some of them are starting to connect, because you get to find out who these acolytes of the beyond are and what they do. And I believe it's in the second one. One of them actually puts on a mask and activates a lightsaber through another one of the acolytes. So pretty interesting. And then there was also some people of the Church of the Force who were returning kyber crystals to Ilum, which, if you've ever played Jedi Lost Temple, you find out that that's actually Starkiller Base. So sorry, I didn't mean to spoil that one for you, but that is pretty big. But anyways, which leads to the third one, Empire's End. Aftermath Empire's End was my favorite out of the three. It basically ends with this Imperial Grand Admiral. His name is Gallius Rax, who was personally chosen by Palpatine when he was a child on Jakku to unearth the observatory and oversee it and make sure that nobody, messed with it while it was in operation. The observatory was basically, it was like back of the ancients. What they did was they had a bunch of Sith relics, and they were trying to get the Empire and what was left of the Empire and the or the New Republic around the planet, and they were going to destroy the planet with Sith relics, throwing them down into the chute, as far as it was concerned. But that was basically the Battle of Jakku, which was really cool because it gave you an idea. And once again, the Wexleys fought in it. Snap it was his first time he ever flew an X-wing in combat, was at the Battle of Jakku. To go all that way from the Battle of Jakku to the Battle of Starkiller Base, and then subsequently to the other ones. But anyways, let's move on. Like I said, the Aftermath trilogy, not a lot of people like the first one. I like the second one and the third one. It was pretty darn decent. So anyways, we'll go with another one, Alphabet Squadron. I've only listened to it once, and I was doing something while it was coming out. Basically, it's just another squadron of pilots that you get to meet, that are Imperial cast-offs and stuff like that. Okay, Empires and Life Debt. Last Shot. It's the only one I haven't finished, and it was kind of sold as an addendum to Solo, so I watched it. It was good. Not going to say I didn't like it. As a matter of fact, I really enjoyed it. As far as Solo, the Star Wars, I didn't talk about that during the thing, but anyways, all right. This leads us to my favorite one. My favorite book out of all the new ones. It's also written by Claudia Gray. She's nailed it on the books that she's written. Bloodlines. This book, it ties so much of what I was referring to earlier about wanting to know that story in between. It's basically the revelation of Princess Leia to the Senate and to the galaxy at large that she's Darth Vader's daughter. And it's kind of interesting. It's filled with political intrigue, and it really goes to show that Leia is a woman of action. Um, I'm not going to use the cliches or anything like that, but she's a real fucking badass, man. You know, Janeway was one. Star Trek Voyager. But anyways, she basically goes through some criminal cartels and some syndicates, and a couple of her old friends on the planet of Ryloth, uh, to get a little bit of help. And unfoils a plot which basically finds out who's funding the First Order, and that there are senators in the New Republic Senate that are, sympathizers to the First Order. So I mean, it's pretty good as far as that goes. I believe Rian Johnson had a little hand in helping her write it, so I'm sure that's got to piss off some people. But anyways, it was a really good book. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I want to. I keep talking and I keep using the same damn words. But anyways, the books that take place afterwards, it also takes us into my second favorite, because at the end of Bloodlines she starts forming the Resistance. Yeah, see it right there. Bloodlines is one of the best. Is the top three? Yes, right there. Bloodlines was fantastic. um, she started the Resistance, because she basically got kicked out of the Senate, and well, she was going to leave anyways, but or she was actually trying to run for first Senate, but the revelation that your dad is basically the worst thing that could ever be, um, you know it tends to ruin things. But anyways, that goes on to the next one, where she starts forming the Resistance, she starts gathering networks of spies and other people like that, and what she really gathers up is, um, oh gosh darn it, how am I gonna forget her damn name? But anyways, Phasma. Um, I'll just get right to it. The Phasma book. Okay. Um, Say what you want about what they did to her, in the movies and stuff like that. And I really think with this story in mind, man, they really swung and missed with her. But basically what happens is she lives on some kind of like a post-apocalyptic world, where everything's irradiated, and desert full of stuff, and it kind of has this Mad Maxy kind of vibe to it, which I really really liked. And like I said, it was just such a disappointment what they did with her after they made such a great book, with Phasma. It starts out basically with the rebel spy. Her name is Vi Marati, and she's really good because she's gonna make more of a significant impact in the near future. But basically, she gets captured by another First Order officer by the name of Cardinal, and he tortures the information out of her. She tells him the story of Phasma, and then Phasma or Cardinal tries to confront Phasma because he doesn't like Phasma because she thinks he's doing things wrong because basically she took his job. And but anyways, long story short, he ends up confronting her, and Vi ends up saving him, which leads into another book that came out just recently, which I'm also a big fan of, and it's also part of the new Disney park, the Black Spire. So basically, it's her and Cardinal or Archex. Vi and Archex go to this planet, and they basically try to set up a rebel stronghold, which is really cool because it kind of, like I said, it kind of ties everything into the theme park, which is really cool that they're doing a lot with that now. You can actually live it. Um, I'm in Nevada, so I'm not that far from there. I just have to, you know, say sell a kidney or two, some other kind of organ that I can live without for a little bit. I'd really like to go and at least get a lightsaber or something made. Um, but yeah, so anyways, that was Phasma, and then naturally after that we've got The Force Awakens, episode 7. Ah man, the Audible book on that was added so much more than the movie didn't. It had a thing in the beginning where they talked about the resolving of the gray through the refined Jedi sight, and it's like when the Force Awakens came out, one of the things that was great about it was the speculation, like what's going to happen in the next movie, what's going to be this, what's going to, and it kind of was the downfall to the next one, but, or at least it was in my case, because I had all these theories in my head, that, oh, it was going to be this, uh, I wasn't one of those people who thought Rey was a Skywalker or anything like that. I mean, even though she kind of ended up being one in the end, but I never really um, put too much stock in it. I figured she was a virgins in the Force, more like a second Anakin, a second coming of Anakin, um, which I think would have been nice from like what was that, Avatar perspective, or a reincarnation of the one, as it were. Uh, I'll take a break here in a little bit, and I'll go back over the rest of the stream today. I've got about 20 minutes or so. I've never gone this long by myself before. It is differently interesting trying to talk talk for an hour. But anyways, yeah, that's pretty much it as far as the books are concerned, other than the novelizations of the movies themselves. Um, oh wait, that's not entirely true. Resistance Rising took place in between the two, and Resistance Reborn, and I'll talk about that after I talk about the one that everybody loves to hate, um, Star Wars: The Last Jedi. Um, I personally, I like The Last Jedi. I found it very entertaining. I saw what they did to the different characters, and I could see it happening. So I just shrugged my shoulders and moved on. I didn't let it bother me too much. The only time I can say that I saw anything overt is when they were, you know, um, shocking the animals to get them to perform. I was like, oh, that was for PETA. But other than that, man, I nothing political really bothered me. Um, yeah, Holdo, I thought she was a good character. She was in um, Leia, Princess of Alderaan, as a kid, and she kind of had that Luna Lovegood kind of vibe to her, which was really cool because she was really insightful but kind of weird at the same time. So it really, she was really a good character in that book, and I was kind of surprised they didn't take that tact. She was more of a hard ass, which I mean, I guess after living through rebellions and all that kind of stuff, it tends to change your mind on things, or at least your perspective in a small sense. But from what I understand, the planet that she's from, they're all about being loving and inclusive and all that kind of stuff. Uh, this Jedi was the most Jedi. Yes, yes, because exactly. It'll take me back to the books again. In the book, it tells the third trial. It talks more about um, Rey's frustration, but it also talks about how Luke really wanted to go at the end when he finally confronted her. And he just kind of, at that point, just kind of died off at that. But it talked about how a Jedi wouldn't go intervene. A Jedi wouldn't go, fight a war. And war is all right, Tim Ed. We'll see you later. I'll probably be in there chat later tonight, but have a good one. But anyways, that's kind of why I do like The Last Jedi. And like he said, it was the most Jedi out of all of them because he did the ultimate Jedi thing, which was sacrifice himself, and he didn't have to lift a blade. I mean, yeah, he showed up, but he didn't have to do any of that. And to me, that's what made the movie. Yeah, there's a lot of other little nitpicks about The Last Jedi, and it looks like Sir Nerd a lot likes The Last Jedi too. Right on. Yeah, I could defend the movie. I don't care. I'm not one of those people that relies too heavily on storyline and all that kind of stuff. So, as far as The Last Jedi is concerned, I really liked it. There was a couple of books that did take place in between the two. Um, I don't remember the name of it, but it was one that it was basically an adventure between Ray, Finn, and Rose, where it was kind of cool because they got to know each other. And I did like Rose. I mean, I didn't have a problem with her. You know, she lost her sister, and I thought it was kind of funny when she shocked his ass. But and her complaining about that. I mean, you have to have somebody do that. I mean, it's just, what are you going to do? Just show it around and be like, oh no, this is the degradation of society. It's terrible, and this, that, and the other thing. But anyways, let me take a quick commercial break here, guys. All right, we'll go back to the. I'll just do a little quick shout out to the next couple shows that are going on. Right after me here in about 15 minutes, you got the Roadcast, Star Wars Santa, To Be Determined, Rebel Scum, Mad Max, and the Nerd Reactors wrapping us all up. I've only got a couple more things I want to talk about tonight, so uh, yeah, you only have to listen to me and for a little bit longer. I promise. Thank you for all those that did stick it out with me. I hope we had a little bit of fun. Try not to be too boring. Um, but anyways, there is another book. Like I said, it's Resistance Reborn, and once again, it was a phenomenal book. It took place on a couple of planets, but mostly on Corellia. Two different missions, where basically they were talking, and there was two different plots. You had a heist plot and then a hero rescue plot, which was really cool because they rescued the senator from Bloodline that supposedly got killed. He didn't get killed. They the Empire, or sorry, the First Order. Well, thanks, Dark Daddy. But anyways, the First Order had captured him because he was part of one of the sympathetic planets that, or one of the planets that happened to be sympathetic to the First Order. But he was a personal friend of Princess Leia, and Leia wanted to go rescue him. She starts from the Resistance. They have to run and hide after what happens in The Last Jedi. They end up landing, going to Ryloth, and talking to some of the old friends that they had. As far as as far as the Resistance is concerned, they didn't want to have anything to do with it because they didn't want to bring First Order heat onto Ryloth. But eventually, if it is any of that's going to happen, you're gonna run up against the main power because you have power, and they're gonna try to take it from you. So that was a really good book. And honestly, I want to say I'm slightly disappointed because it didn't lead into the Rise of Skywalker as much as I thought it did, or I thought it would have. Rise of Skywalker, it glossed over like that whole part of the, how they tried to rebuild the Resistance up from nothing. And I'm also a little disappointed because it didn't tie in Batuu, because they spent all this time and effort trying to build up that city in a series of other books, and they have a damn theme park. Why don't you have a Resistance base right outside of town? That I don't understand. But anyways, as far as that story is concerned, I really like it. No, that's not entirely true. I take that back. The Resistance base gets built by them, by the people in the book Black Spire, but they don't use it. Like the Tantive 4 is not there in Rise of Skywalker. That's not where Rey's training, and that's not that. But I will say the audiobook for that one was really good. The Emperor, it really talks about how the Emperor himself did the clones, and that Rey's father was a failed clone, and all the other assorted stories that we've heard since the books come out itself. But anyways, here, let me take a break here. But like I said, though, it kind of hammered home the Darth Plagueis aspect of it. The Sith troopers were. I liked them, but it was really hard to understand like where did it all come from. I mean, Conjuring, that kind of stuff. I don't know. I never really did any of the EU books aside from some of the Old Republic, um, like the Darth Bane stuff and some of the Darth Revan stuff, because eh, I don't know. I guess my opinion on that is that they called it Legends for a reason. Shrug. Um, it was a storyline to some of their video games that were a little bit popular, so I tend to hold a little less stock in some of the ones that came out, some of the earlier ones, but I definitely think they could be plausible. Star Trek or Star Wars questionable is where I'd lay them, but definitely the Darth Bane trilogy. Give that a check out. I definitely I'll go back and talk about if I were to rank them. I'm gonna go with let's say with like um, Dooku would be number 10. Like I said before, it was a really good one because it was an audio story, or it was like an audio play, so it actually had more than one person doing the narration, which was a blast. The guy that did the voice for Dooku was kind of weird, but that's just because you're so used to hearing Christopher Lee uh, be Count Dooku. But anyways, that leads into Master and Apprentice at number 9. I really like that one. It kind of told the story of Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon before they got before they became Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon. There was a point where Qui-Gon was like, I don't know if I want to be your master right now, and Obi-Wan's like, what did I do wrong? Okay. But anyways, that would be a good strong number 9. Number 8 would be Ahsoka. It moved up there in recent just because of the Clone Wars. That's just personally right now. It kind of fell to the bottom after Rebels had its run, and I loved that show. That whole basically from the second season at the Temple of Malachor on, that show was just rocking. I love the Mandalorian stuff. I would like to see if so at the end of Rebels, Bo-Katan has the dark saber. So I'm wondering how it goes from her to Moff Gideon. I'm wondering if the Mandalorian is going to fill us in on that. And I'm also wondering if some of these new castings, somebody might be like a Bo-Katan. That would be super cool. I don't know. I really like the Mandalorian story arcs in the Clone Wars. They were really good, and they continued them with Mandalorians. As a matter of fact, the other night I was watching the one where Sabine had developed the weapon called the Duchess, which basically fried fried everybody in their Beskar. So I mean, yeah, it's pretty powerful stuff. I'm gonna do one more thing here. Let's see here. But anyways, I do want to thank y'all for coming. Oh, that's not it. Almost there. But I do want to thank, like I said before, I want to thank y'all for coming. And I hope everyone has happy May 4th. And I don't know, I might watch Rise of Skywalker tonight because it's on Disney Plus. Definitely gonna hang out in the chat of at least some of these streams going on for the rest of the night. If anybody wants somebody to talk to, let me know. I'll come rap at you. But anyways, I think I'm gonna take off. Let me post the link to the next one here really quick, and then I'll sign off. It's been a hoot. Sorry, dead air. All right. But yeah, I mean, if there's any books that I might have missed, because I'm sure I have. Ooh. All right, there we go. I just posted the link in the chat to Rogue Chat's channel. Let me bring up that screen one more time. This is going to be me signing off for the May the 4th Be With You stream marathon. I've been having fun so far. I got up at 6 in the morning and watched Fanjecture, so it's been pretty fun, and I've been in the chat all along. But anyways, I'm going to take off. I'm going to leave a few minutes in between. Give you a chance to go get something to drink and get something to eat or something. Until then, make sure to like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Come on back. I tend to do some Star Trek ones, and once again, this is the first time I've ever gone more than like 20 minutes on a stream. So thank you for everyone for coming in, man. Thank you, the Grey Council. Thank you, 2Med2. Thank you, Sir Nerdalot. Thank you, Boshti. Thank you, Irish. And thank you, Sir Nerdalot. It's been a lot of fun. I hope to do it again sometime soon. Yeah, until then, I'll see you guys next time. Hoping sometime to come out with, maybe I'll do a live stream tomorrow. I really want to talk some Star Trek. So if anybody wants to talk some Star Trek, let me know. I kind of want to have a good chat about it. Good, new, old, whatever. All right, guys. Take it easy. Peace.